Yeah, it is very nice to talk to you all. And as Professor Satish mentioned about my work, I am working actually, in the field of environmental science as well as material science, and I belong to the environmental science department, and also I am looking after material science. And this is actually, I want to introduce our campus. Unfortunately, you people were attending this online, especially the people from outside. This is our campus, and this is our main administrative block, and this is a aerial view of our campus, and this is our center where material science is located. It is one of the very advanced center, I can tell. We started this material science with the help of UGC. UGC awarded a project, University with Potential for Excellence, to the University of Mysore in 2012. And the focus area is advanced functional materials, and expert team which visited Mysore University, they advised us to start a course, and we started this. And even in Srikanta, UGC portal, there, material science, Mysore University is identified as one of the main institute which working on material science. And actually, this is, I want to just briefly mention about how this material science is started. And the University of Mysore has started this job-oriented course, and University with Potential Excellence. And this is what I have already explained. And this Center for Material Science and Technology started in 2012. And now with the two UGC projects, that is University with Potential for Excellence, Center with Potential for Excellence in particular area. And faculties are belongs to a very good faculty. It proved with their good publications. And I'm happy to mention that our students, nearly 95% of students are placed in different organizations, like in research institutes, in research and development companies, at colleges and the university level, and many of them abroad placement. They got abroad placement. And another one thing which I want to mention, we have very good instrumentation facility, and like XRD, SCM, AFM, and surface, like whatever characterization for materials, all the instruments we have in the in our center, and we can say a very good facility. Very better facility we have, both for preparation for materials and characterization. And these are some of the view of our laboratory, which is located in Vignan Bhavan, Mans Gangotri. And we have very good instruments. And this is what I want to show you. Recently, recent publications. Recent publications belongs to our group. We have published in very high, in the journals of very high impact factors, like elsewhere, and Royal Society of Chemistry and Springer journals. These journals, very reputed journal. This is very few, very recent publications. And coming to today's topic, which I'm going to talk, ecosystem conservation and restoration in Western Ghats. Now, why I want to talk this? Recently, we have received a project. Myself and Professor Sunil Natyal belongs to Institute for Social and Economical Changes, Bangalore, we got this project, and the title of the project is Climate Smart Livelihood and Socio-Ecological Development Biodiversity Hotspots of India. And our main focus is, we are working both Western Ghats and Himalayan region, and comparing these two hotspots of India. And we are carrying out. This was, we can say, actually we got this in project in 2019. Unfortunately, due to Corona pandemic, we could not do much work. Only thing, we carried out the work in Karnataka itself, and we are planning to visit Himalaya after this pandemic over. And you all know that when we talk about this, these things, ecosystem conservation and restoration in Western Ghats. And maybe some doubt may arise in your mind, because when I mentioned some of the things like carbon nanotubes and some of the things like material science and environmental science, and how it is all linked here. See, you should all know that there is no boundary in science. We cannot put boundary ourselves. Everything, all the branches of science is needed help from other branches. And especially for material science. Now you may think that what is this science? Material science is an interdisciplinary branch of science. And people nowadays, if we ask what is this, what is material science, many people cannot answer. But you people should know that the knowledge of using of materials are very age old. We can say when human being wants to cut, when in the prehistoric period, cut anything, or killing animals, or cutting trees, or anything, he start using sharp edge rocks or stones, and that was the beginning of using materials. And especially in India, we have very good knowledge of materials usage. I can give a lot of examples. For example, that ceramics and Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, many people know when now we are talking about nanotechnology, but in Ayurveda, maybe around 2000 years or 2500 years itself, our Indians will start using this Swarna Bhashma. They are the nano size material, the gold in nano size. And even when we talk about the concept of atomic atoms, we are looking into the Western side. But our Muni Kashyap, who actually derived that, all the materials, all the things, whatever it may be exist, it all made up of Kan. Kan is nothing but atoms. So he is known as Kanat. So here our ancient science is a very magnificent one, where both biology, material science, and chemistry, everything they learned, and especially astronomy, okay, and mathematics. Now, when I was in Japan, they were giving a lot of respect to Indians. And when I put question, why you are giving so much respect to the Indians, they say that we got many things from India, especially science and especially mathematics. So Indians, our ancestors, discovered zero. So without zero, no mathematics. So likewise, each and everything, it is interconnected. And similarly, when you look into the earth, actually, we have to understand earth. Whatever the branch of science, we have to understand earth. So earth is a member planet of solar system. And when we put question ourselves in how many planets life is exist, no, we don't get answer except earth. So why the earth, planet earth, is having life because of the how it is exist. Okay, and it is having a subsystem like atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere. These three components are cordially support biological this to exist cordial support. Okay, so here when we talk about this for the existence of biosphere, and similarly, you know that it's a very basic things. I need not tell many things how that interactions between all these components are taken place. For example, hydrological cycle, water cycle. You know that how it evaporates and then condensation, then precipitation. Similarly, photosynthesis or respiration. It's all the interaction between each and every. Innumerable interactions are taken place. And similarly, when we talk about this, the earth, which is exist as a system, and each of these interactions are very important. And why we are worrying about environment? Because if anything goes wrong, we can say short circuit may occur. Okay, that causes a lot of damages. It is already making lot of damages to the environment. We are in the critical stage. This is the right time to take precautionary measurements. Otherwise, our future generation blame us. Lot of problem. It may be people. We can start with global warming, climate change, water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution. You can take any examples. We need not go far away from our place. Near to our place, if we ask our ancestors how these water bodies were exist, they say that it was very good. Now, either if you go look into the lakes, they shrunk to the small size, or streams flowing, it is all polluted. See, you know that planet Earth is known as water planet or blue planet, whatever it may be, because 75% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. It's a very famous saying is there, water, everywhere water, but there are no single drop of water to drink. It is many times it is true also. So similarly, soil, how it is due to the human activities, how it is damaged. Air pollution nowadays, it's a lot of problem arises. All the major cities are not having very good environment because of the air pollution. Similarly, there are lot of examples we can give. Not going to far away from our places. We can get these examples from many places. But I want to mention here, when we compare to the Europe, Western countries or developed countries, our Indian concern about the environment is not new, because we know that when we talk about anything which we want to start, people the priest comes, he first worship Panchabhutas. What is these Panchabhutas? They're all components of environment: water, air, and sky, fire, like this. And also, that when we talk about ancient civilization, we mentioned our Indian ancient civilization like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. We proudly mentioned, maybe around 2,500 years or 3,000 years back, those places were having very good civilization. They were very flourished places. But now, if you visit the site of this ancient civilization, they are all changed to the barren land. Nothing can grow there. Why? So one study actually which carried out by archaeologists and paleo-environmentalists, it indicates that over abuse of environment is due to the collapse of this civilization, because this civilization, the period is just maybe for few hundred years, maybe 500 to 700 years, and it collapsed. And Indians, they migrated to other places, and then they start giving respect to the environment, and then slow and steady development was there, and the new branches of sciences were developed simultaneously, whether it is agriculture field or medicinal field or biological field or chemistry. Okay, metallurgy. So when we talk about metallurgy, iron pillar of New Delhi, you know that iron is actually corroded due to the atmospheric corrosion. But that iron pillar which stands there in New Delhi, maybe aged back to 2,500, like this. And likewise, when you look into that monolithic statue, Gomteshwara, which exposed to the air and water, air and wind and rain. And if you look, when you compare to that other rocks, especially the hilly regions, which are exposed to the wind blow and water action, they were etched, okay, some etching and corrosion you can see. But why Gomteshwara, that the monolithic rock, even though it exposed to the sun, wind blow and water action, it remained as such because they selected the rock which can withstand all these things. So likewise, I can give a lot of examples to you regarding environment, materials. Nowadays, without materials, nothing is there. And actually, you know that similar to you, around 15 years back, I was giving a talk to the college teachers. I mentioned that a day will come. We can fold televisions and hold in our shoulder. This was I mentioned in around 15 years back. And people who were the participants, they were never believed. Many people were laughing. But now, you know that it is coming. And maybe around 15 years back, the television was very big. Now it is televisions have become very thin, and foldable televisions are coming. So this is the advancement of science and technology. How science and technology is growing. Okay, so there is likewise, I can give a lot of examples. And coming to this climate change and global warming, it is one of the main problem people are facing throughout the world, everywhere. And fortunately, we have very good biodiversity, especially in Western Ghats and Himalayan regions. But it is also the danger because of the human activity. As I told you in the beginning itself, we are in the critical conditions. So, for example, if we talk about the climate change, and there are two classes of people. One class of people, scientists, they say that it is true that climate change is occurring. And another group of scientists, they say that it is a myth. Because they give example of geological history. When Earth formation, due to the scientific evidence, the age of the Earth is around 4,500 million years, and it is evolved. And continuously, these climatic changes were occurred. Okay, Ice Age, like a good example. Okay, and when volcanic eruption occurred, lot of gases were liberated. It is go to the sky, so make atmospheric pollution. So the group of scientists say that it's a myth. It gives this geological history, Earth history. But we can accept those theories, but when we compare to this, the climate change, since in the industrial revolution around 150 years back, the climate change was not so big, but this during 100 years, the climate change is not 100-fold, 1,000-fold more when compared to the earlier years in the geological history. So that's why here, what I want to talk about this ecosystem conservation and restoration in Western Ghats. That is our project work, which we choose this. And briefly, whatever the thing which I'm going to explain briefly. You know that the Western Ghats is a mountain range that runs from western coast of peninsular India. So physiologically, India is divided into three parts. One is extra peninsular India, that is mountain chains from Myanmar to Balochistan, and Indo-Gangetic Plain, and coming to the south, peninsular India. So geologically, peninsular India is now older part, much one of the ancient earth crust, that peninsular India, maybe around 3,500 million years old, or more than that, we can say. And we collectively it is called as Gondwana land. It actually, earth scientists mentioned that Gondwana land is below was it was a single landmass. It was comprising Antarctica, Australia, Africa, Madagascar, India, and Florida. Okay, and due to the continental drift, okay, they were drift away, and India start moving, and when it's hit the major Asian plate, that mountain chains were formed. That was the reason for the formation of Himalayan mountains. And it's not any fiction story. Based on the scientific evidence, plate tectonism. The scientists mentioned about how this Himalayan mountains are formed. So these Western Ghats are also formed because of plate tectonism. And this Western Ghat is a mountain range that runs from the western coast of peninsula and older than Himalayan mountains. That collision of Indian plate with main Asian plate, it was occurred, according to the geological evidence, around 20 million years back, 20,000 million years back. And this Western Ghats are much older, and it is one of the 8 hotspots of biological diversity in the world due to its high level of biological diversity and endemism. Yeah, that's true. Very biological diversity we can see, and even some of the species, whether flora or fauna, you cannot see anywhere. So therefore, this Western Ghat is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We should be proud, and that's why it is all our duty to conserve this conservation and restoration. If any damage occurred, restoration, we have to make restoration. So this Western Ghats begins near the border of Gujarat and stretches down around 1,600 kilometers through the states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu, covering around 160,000 square kilometers of the area. The Western Ghats are known for their high biodiversity and as it is identified as one of the world's 8 hotspots of biological diversity. Classified as evergreen forest, as it receives as much as more than, you can say, 350 inches of rain every year. Very good rainfall due to the monsoon. And there are 77% of amphibians and 0.2% of reptiles located in Western Ghats are not found anywhere. That's why we say that this is considered as no, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Up to 320 endangered species survive here. And it is, we can say, a coincidence due to my talk. And no, yesterday only we got this message, and two persons. No, yeah, actually, Saikura Manabe and Klaus Assmann, they are physicists, not biologists, but they got the Nobel Prize because for their work for preparing the physical modeling of Earth's climate, quantifying variability and reliability, predicting global warming. So they may just 1 day or 2 days back it announced, and another person also got the Nobel Prize for the discovery of the interplay of disorder and fluctuations in physical system and atomic to planetary scales. That is, it is also connected to the nanotechnology. So it's a coincidence, and also today, World, we can say Wildlife Day. 1 week, 67th wildlife. This one are celebrating. These are all some coincidence of my talk. And as I mentioned, when we talk about biodiversity, whether we have, if we put the question, this is very basic actually. You all know this, biological people all know this. When I mentioned that Earth, age of the Earth is around 4,500 million years or 4.5 billion years. It started. When we put the question whether life is exist when Earth formation, no, we don't have any evidence, and we get the evidence of life maybe around 2,000 million years. So almost to 2,500 million years lifeless. And even that life which they got as a fossil, that shells, a mold of carbon found in Canada, they scientists predict that probably it was the beginning of life. And then you can see this, how the large biodiversity, how it is developed. And this is the one of the thing which we can see, evolution. And no, I'm not going to talk about evolution here. And here, when we come to this, a simple example which I want to tell you. This is simple. Where bicolored frog is endemic to the Western Ghats of India. This is a simple example where you cannot see this type of frog anywhere. And what are the factors that usually determine hotspots, biological hotspots? The number of total species, the species richness, and the number of unique endemism. That is, you cannot see anywhere except this place, whether flora or fauna, and the number of species at risk, threat of extinction. There are a lot of species are under the threat. And criteria for determining biodiversity hotspots are regions with high level of species richness, the number of different species represented in a region, and that region, that hotspot region with high degree of endemism, that is species that are confined to one particular region only, but not found anywhere else. That is the factors that usually used to determine the hotspots. And Western Ghats is a magnificent mountain range next only to Himalayas, and is a biological treasure trove with a high degree of endemism, maybe 11% to 78%, and a scenic beauty. This unique ecosystem has been threatened by continuously increasing habitat pressures. and declared as one of the world's hottest hotspot of biodiversity. That is almost true, because nowadays we are looking into a lot of conflicts, human and wildlife conflicts, and a lot of problems. Wildlife corridors are encroached, and many problems we are in the name of development. Lot of problems are occurring actually in this area. The life supporting and biodiversity rich ecosystems of Western Ghats are threatened today due to habitat pressure. That is very important. So now, whether it is not only the biological people, or it is all the citizens' duty to take precautionary measures. So there are over 4,500 species of flowering plants. Among them, 38% are endemic. And there are 33, maybe more than that, butterflies, and 11% endemic, and 156 reptiles are identified. Among them, 62% are endemics. 502 species of birds, among them 4% are endemic, and 150 mammals, among them 12% are endemic. And likewise, we can see many things like amphibians and fishes are among the known biodiversity of Western Ghats in Karnataka. And when we look into this Western Ghats, which state covers much area? Among them, Maharashtra is acquiring a lot of more area when compared to other 4 states. But Karnataka is the second largest one, having largest area of Western Ghat. And Kerala and Tamil Nadu are equal, and a little Goa area are also there. And the state holds Karnataka state actually holds the second largest section of the Western Ghat landscapes within its boundary, like 27.67%. After Maharashtra, around 36.48%. The total area spread of Western Ghats in Karnataka works out to about 44,300 square kilometers. And these are, now we can say that the largest river in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, sorry, I forgot to type Karnataka, that is Kaveri River, has its origin in the foothills of the Western Ghats of Talakaveri in Kodagu district of Karnataka. Actually, Brahmagiri Hills, which belongs to Western Ghats, is considered as a watershed area of Kaveri. And now you can see that a lot of landslides are occurring. And due to the landslides, a lot of endangered species, especially flora, plant species, are destroying, and even some of the animal species are also destroying. Why these landslides are occurring? So here we have to talk about geology also here. Why? Because of encroachment, loss of vegetation is the main reason for the landslides. Okay. Now you know that since 3-4 years, every year during rainy season, landslides are occurring. And this Kaveri River is flowing from south to eastwards along its 805-kilometer course through the state of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and head to mouth, we say. And the beginning is head, and where it reaches the ocean, we call it as mouth. The river empties into the Bay of Bengal. And here, forest types in the Western Ghats of Karnataka state. Tropical evergreen, moist and dry deciduous, high altitude solas, savannas and scrubs are the common type of forest we can see. Among them, around 13,000 species of flowering plants found in India, and some 4,500 are found in Western Ghats, and also some 1,500 are unique to the region. The Western Ghats is the arts part of natural evolution. That's true. Actually, no, evolution is there. Biology means we should not forget about the evolution. Natural Western Ghat is the arts part of natural evolution. When we look into the frog, a new type of frog which is found there, it's also a good example of evolution. The evergreen forest dominated by trees of some of the trees and found only these trees actually, found only in the Western Ghats. There are some of the good species, and the deciduous forest dominated by some of the species like Terminalia and some of the Xalia and other species are some of the most valuable commercial timber on the earth. And over 20% of the original forest cover remains more or less in pristine condition. And that is, we should be happy. At least 20% remain as such. And the remaining is subject to the varying degrees of human pressure, including large-scale collection of fuel wood and NTPF. This is actually non-timber forest products. This is it actually encompasses all biological materials other than timber, and which are extracted from forest for human use. This is throughout the globe. It is wherever the forest. This is a common exam, a common problem, and mass tourism. Okay, and grazing. And forest fires are other concerns. You know that encroachment, when we talk about the encroachment. See, if you go to the Karnataka Forest Department, in total Karnataka geographical area, nearly 38 to 39% they show the forest. And recent study using remote sensing. Remote sensing is one of the new technique. Not new. This old technique. Remote sensing is a very good tool to assess what are there in the surface area, and based on the study using remote sensing, we found that only around 21% or 22% are forest area, and where are other 36 or 37% of forest area gone? It's all because of grazing, encroachment, and many human or dam constructions, road constructions. Okay, these are all the thing. The forest of Western Ghats had been selectively logged, and large tracts of forest were also converted to agricultural land for monoculture plantations like tea plantations, coffee plantations, rubber, oil, palm, teak, eucalyptus, building reservoirs, roads, and railways. So all these things, what just now I mentioned, how that forest area is shrunk to the smaller and smaller because of all these activities. And this is just a simple example of remote sensing. We got. I'm sorry, the image is not so good, but it is actually the remote sensing data. It clearly indicates that how evergreen forest is now decreased, and that one, and open land and water, agriculture land is increasing. See here how it is increasing, agriculture land. Okay. You know that here only I want to mention. I want to give few information apart from this discussion. You may put question: what is remote sensing? You know that nowadays our life completely depend on remote sensing. Remote sensing is one of the important tools nowadays. Why our Indian Space Research Organization is considered as one of the prominent organizations in the world because of the space research. They launch the satellites and get the information. And that geographical information system, that is one of the important things that now we know that this period is called as information age, or information science is one of the prominent one nowadays because of this remote sensing. No, this is happening. Okay, we don't have much time to discuss about those things. And remote sensing gives a lot of information. Uh, that's one of the thing. And you know that when we talk about GIS, that is Geographical Information System, you know that our Aadhaar card, or no, our ATM, even your mobile, it shows you the location, where geographical locations where you are. It's all dependent because of usage of satellite, this one, and remote sensing usage. So here, coming to our discussion, why this threatening, Western Ghats threatening is occurring, because unplanned developmental activities have triggered a dramatic fall in the Western Ghats evergreen forest cover in protected areas, dropping to mere 11% between 1985 to 2018. And the recent study, which carried out by Indian Institute of Science scientists from the Center for Ecological Studies. Center for Ecological Studies is an important center in the Indian Institute of Science. And also Indian Institute of Science, and also Setur Bharat from the Center for Sustainable Technologies, reveals that this will further drop to 10%. Okay, see, evergreen forest cover in protected areas dropping to a mere 11%, and it will further drop to 10% by 2029, with agriculture, increasing of agriculture 17%, plantation 40%, and built up area around 5%, making up the rest, showed a simulation study as part of paper on carbon sequestration potential of the forest ecosystem in Western Ghats. Now, when we talk about this climate change and global warming and energy, this carbon sequestration is one of the important things. So that's why I want to mention here, carbon sequestration is the process of capturing and storing atmospheric carbon dioxide. See, you know that when we talk about this global warming or climate change or greenhouse effect, it's all because of carbon gases, and especially capturing this carbon dioxide is one of the important things. And it is one method of reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere with the goal of reducing global climate change. Okay, like you know that just now I mentioned global warming, greenhouse effect. What we talk about greenhouse effect. That United States Geological Science is conducting assessment on two major types of carbon sequestration, that is geologic and biologic. And Biological Diversity Act 2002, our Indian government brings this act, and the Biological Diversity Act, which came into the force in February 2003, aims to promote conservation, sustainable use, and equitable sharing of benefits arising from biodiversity resources. And with the help of this act, Biological Diversity Act, National Biodiversity Authority has been established at Chennai as a headquarters. It's the FX body, and this the National Biodiversity Authority plays a regulatory role with regard to access to biological resources by foreign citizens and grant of intellectual property rights. And it has advisory role in matters relating to the conservation, sustainable use, and equitable distribution. See, here, you know that now when you talk about this thing, and many people were not taken serious, and many states were absent to the meetings and the discussions, and the chairman or this board, National Biodiversity Board, actually issued bailable warrant to the like people who are looking at this biological diversity, this thing, of the concerned states. And the Biological Diversity Act 2002 is an act of Parliament of India for preservation of biological diversity in India and provides mechanisms for equitable sharing of benefits arising out of the use of traditional biological resources and knowledge. So why this act comes? Because the mechanisms for equitable sharing of benefits arising out of use of traditional biological resources and knowledge. The act was enacted to meet the obligations under the Convention on Biological Diversity, to which India is a party. This is the international convention on biological diversity, and it is mandatory to set up biodiversity management committees at the local level in every state under Section 41 of Biodiversity Act of 2002 at the local level for promoting conservation, sustainable use, and documentation of biological diversity. So from local level, from micro level to bigger level, this thing has to be carried out. This documentation is one of the important things, actually. And Karnataka Biodiversity Board was established during August 2003. And the Act provides for the establishment of biodiversity management committees at Gram Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat, Jilla Panchayat, and municipalities, and other local bodies. Excuse me. The State Biodiversity Board advises the state government on the matters related to conservation of biodiversity, sustainable use of its components, also regulates access of biological resources by Indian citizens. The Act also provides for the documentation of biological diversity and knowledge related to biological diversity at the local body levels. And this ecosystem restoration in Western Ghats, that United Nations Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, starting from this year, 2021 to 2030. This is the slogan of United Nations Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, can be considered a final call for the mankind to work unitedly for saving our planet from plunging, very extensively, inexorably into an environmental crisis. So therefore, we can say United Nations declares aims to massively scale up the restoration of degraded and destroyed ecosystems as a proven measure to fight the climate crisis and enhance food security, water supply, and biodiversity. So the Western Ghats, predating the Himalayas by 30 to 40 million years, stretches parallel to the Indian west coast for 1,600 kilometers, covering 160,000 square kilometer area. So considered this area by UNESCO as World Heritage Site, as I mentioned in the beginning itself. But the Western Ghats faces threats from rising population, urbanization, and climate change. These are all which we have already discussed, and therefore all these things making it one of the 8 hottest hotspots of the world. And why this problem arises? Because wildlife corridors are shrinking to get disrupted. We can give a simple example. Recently, an article comes how elephants are facing lack of power. Elephants are one of the major, we can say, prominent animal which always loves to migrate. And as one of the study indicates that it starts its journey from Kodaikanal and reaches Dandeli. Whole area it travel, maybe thousands of kilometers. But now what happened is due to the destroying of these wildlife corridors, lot of problems. Therefore, we can say human and animal conflicts are rising day by day, and wildlife habitats outside protected areas heavily threatened, and new roads, broadening of existing ones, and increasing power plants make the situation very bad, graver. And invasive species and other habitat improvements are driving many endemic freshwater fishes towards extinction. That's true. See, you're all biology people, you all know that fish deaths. We need not put poison to the water bodies. If you just discharge the sewage water in large quantity, which needs more dissolved oxygen because of for its degradation, and actually fishes they need at least 5 ppm of dissolved oxygen. When dissolved oxygen depletion occurs, fish deaths definitely occurred. So this can be actually, we can say, the extinction of some freshwater fishes we can observe. And while catchments in the Western Ghats in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and southern Karnataka have the highest freshwater species richness and levels of endemism, they also contains the highest number of threatened species. And now how we can restore the ecosystem here, reducing human pressures on landscapes and seascapes of all kinds of allowing are helping them to recover, boosting their resilience and productivity. Here, definitely, this satellite informations through remote sensing are very helpful. Now we can study how the land use change or land cover change are occurring. So planned interventions using planting of succession stage specific tree species will definitely now help the restoration process. As we all know that because of human pressures, I gave a lot of examples in the beginning itself. That if reducing this human pressure and allowing or helping them to recover, boosting their resilience, that definitely the restoration we can make. That a planned program is needed. Definitely that Biological Diversity Act 2002 actually come to the effect because of this planning, to make this planning. And planned interventions using planting of succession stage specific tree species, and that is also helps the restoration. Efforts towards understanding the forest community structure and dynamics of vegetation change can benefit the restoration ecology in many ways. So in our our work, findings, it has been now we have identified some of the things, and we have identified some of the species also, and that in the early stages of forest restoration in open areas prone to fire risks where rainfall exceeds 2000 millimeter, hardy, that is always throughout the year, evergreen may be planted. So throughout the year, if it is if plants are evergreen, such plants definitely help in the forest restoration in the beginning itself. Okay, and along with these are some of the species. Along with that, more tolerant deciduous species also are important here, and especially nitrogen fixing legumes like Celia and other species may be planted. And forest ecosystem restoration in high rainfall zones may aim at climax ecosystem re-establishment with high share of evergreen species, paving way of return of endemics, both floral and faunal, through natural process and careful introductions. No, that's why the identification of species also very important. Careful introduction should be there. So in a planned restoration programs, simulating natural succession process by we can say utility species may be introduced like this Gastinia and other species, wild mangoes, jackfruits, and rattan canes, palms, and wild peppers, wild peppers, medicinal plants, etc. If we do this utilities this species, if we introduced in careful way, it will be actually helpful for the restoration programs. And nectar species promoting honey productions in forest, and in another way it helps in the pollination services in the farms are several for introduction during different stages of restoration. So that's why that in government level, Western Ghats Development Program was launched in 1974 to 75 as a component of the program for the development of hill areas of the country. So here you know that how much it is important to us because they are the one which actually draws the clouds for the rainfall, and these Western Ghats are we can say catchment area and watershed area for many rivers. So that's why this hilly areas development in the country, it is very important. That's why Western Ghats Development Program was launched in 1974 to 75. And with this experience of this Western Ghats Development Program, implementation during the 5th five-year plan revealed that the area development approach alone could not meet the development needs of Western Ghats region. The need for the balance between beneficiary-oriented and infrastructure development schemes, keeping in mind the vital importance of ecological restoration and conservation, was keenly felt. So this was actually in the 5th five-year plan, this idea comes. So therefore, the 6th five-year plan suggested an integrated strategy farm development of hill areas based on sound principles of ecology and economics, marking a shift of emphasis. So both these things, a program was started in 6th five-year plans, and during the 7th five-year plan, the Planning Commission released an approach paper which called for harmonious sociological economic growth with eco-preservation, eco-restoration, and eco-developments, ecological developments. See, here, when we look into the harmonious word, it is very important. Harmonious social means, don't think it is only anthropogenic, only people. It is environmental ethics comes here. What this environmental ethics tells? Environmental ethics is a huge topic to discuss. Many things are there. Like Western philosophy, Indian philosophy, and now in the beginning itself, I mentioned about how Indian consciousness about the environment developed around 2000 or 2500 years back itself. So here, this harmonious social and economic growth, that harmony means here that philosophy comes that whatever it may be exist, it should be exist for all, not only for the human being. It should not be anthropocentric. Okay. So, unleashing of natural resources, endowments like water, soil, forest, minerals, and biological resources on the watershed basis along with development of human resources become the core strategy. And next, the 8th five-year plan more or less followed the same strategy as the 7th plan. Its general approach was that of taking of integrated development program on compact watershed basis, keeping in view of overriding priorities of eco-preservation and eco-restoration, as well as basic needs of Ili people. That is one of the important things which now the plan was prepared in the 8th five-year plan. And a common approach for watershed development activities was adopted for 9th five-year plan. So watershed development is one of the prominent thing where it is not only for biological work, even for the need of water. So where why Bhagmanda is important because of Brahmagiri hills, where we considered watershed area is considered as Kaveri River. So the report of working group in Western Ghats development program for 10th plan has stated that the main objective of program would continue to be eco-preservation and eco-restoration. However, the needs of people, particularly their economic needs, also have to be considered as these would have to be addressed in particular if the ecosystem has to be preserved. And later in the 11th five-year plan, major thrust was laid on developing the untreated areas. And whereas the 12th five-year plan of the state is strategic intent. That is Karnataka state is a strategic intent to lay the foundation for creating an economy which is productive, competitive, sustainable, and inclusive. Around 9% of Western Ghats is protected within 20 national parks and 68 sanctuaries. In addition, the Indian Forest Conservation Act, enacted in 1980, resulted in the stopping of all illegal or legal logging operations in the Western Ghats in the mid-1980s. While this offers the biodiversity of Western Ghats some protection, it is clear that as the human population pressure increases, further conservation measures are required. And most of the critical habitats, such as lowland areas and dominated evergreen forests and swampy areas, are adequately represented in protected areas. Identifying and subsequently conserving key areas of biodiversity within the Ghats will help ensure that more of its flora and fauna are protected. So India's National Wildlife Action Plan 2002 to 2022 focuses on strengthening and enhancing this protected area network and recognize the importance of local community participation in protected area management. That citizen participation is very, very important here. See, now you know that maybe Dr. Harsha and Dr. Chandrasekhar knows this. Environmental impact assessment is very, very important. Where in the environmental impact assessment, this citizen role and public participation is important. And similarly here also the role of citizen or local community participation is very important in protected area management. It also addresses need for conservation corridors to connect protected areas and allow the movement of wide-ranging species such as Asian elephant, tiger, and dhole. And this is actually the end of my topic. And these are some of the grants I received by different organizations like UGC, DST, Ministry of Environment and Forest, and even Government of Karnataka, Forest Ecology and Environment, EMPRI. And we got the money, and the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India we got this, and these are some of the collaborators I worked, and Professor Bairappa, with whom I got my PhD degree around you can say, I can say 33 years back, and Professor Yoshimura from Japan and Taiwan, and Professor Napa and Cheng is our collaborator. Still more collaborators are there from Singapore and Germany and Australia. And this is my research team and my research students. And thank you, Anita. Yeah.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. This is Dr. Chandrasekhar from Puducherry.
Puducherry.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I'm the student of Taring. I think yes, you are from Pondicherry University.
Yes, sir. It's a Pondicherry affiliated college.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, in your presentation, you mentioned about the high endemism in Western Ghats. Are there any reasons for this high endemism in a particular regions called Western Ghats?
Yeah, actually, for this, for your answer, for your question, there are a lot of reason, because one of the important thing were geological aspects. When yes. Western Ghats, how Western Ghats come to the existence, that the hilly region, because of plate tectonism is the reason. And another thing, monsoon is one of the boon to our Indian subcontinent. It's also one of the thing, and maybe less human interpretation entering in that area are one of the important reasons, maybe for the occurrence of a lot of species endemism.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. One more question. Okay. This endemic species, when we consider the endemism among the species, particularly reptiles and amphibians and fishes. Hello.
Yeah.
Particularly in reptiles, amphibians, and fishes, we found a high endemism.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe in the beginning itself that I gave an example of frog.
Yes, sir. So, is there any relationship between their body physiology and the ecological conditions in that region?
Yeah, it may be, because that it is a very complex nature, where when we look into the biological biodiversity and evolution, and maybe that atmosphere or climate, we can say, and more rain compared to other area, or maybe helpful for the existence of these species in Western Ghats.
Modi sir, please mute your mic.
Sir, I am here to ask one question, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, myself, Dr. Modi from Gulbarga Government Degree College, sir. Sir, regarding the restoration of the Western Ghats, you have mentioned 5 species, sir. Whether we have to plant Western Ghats, you have mentioned for the restoration of the reforestation.
Yeah.
You have mentioned 5 species of leguminous.
Yeah.
And those are the common leguminous avenue plants. You suggested that to plant the.
Our work is still in the primary stage, and it is based on the results which we got from our work. We are suggesting this, and still maybe it may helpful for the restoration if we include this.
Whether we have to plant in the barren places of the forest, sir. Whether
because that nitrogen fixing is how much it is important. Okay, as in the beginning I mentioned, how our subsystem of Earth is interaction is going on. So natural cycle like gaseous and sedimentary cycle are good example. So nitrogen is fixing is one of the primary thing where we can restore the ecology. So that's why we are suggesting this.
Actually, the Pangame is naturalized already. You should not occupy the whole forest and destroy the diversity of the Western Ghat.
No. That's why that's why that for me, we are mentioning here the careful introduction of these species are very important. Carefully, whenever you want to introduce a species or whether it is a flora or faunal species, a careful introduction is we have to do. No, haphazardly we cannot do.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one question. Reverse carbon, atmospheric carbon dioxide, that I am concept I'm not getting, sir.
Huh?
That reverse atmospheric carbon dioxide pollution, that I am
River,
not
river
getting.
or reverse?
River.
Reverse,
Atmospheric
carbon sequestration. Yeah. Nowadays, it is one of the biggest global market, carbon market. Okay. So this carbon sequestration is a different process. That is, especially in the forest area, this is doing in a larger scale. And people are also advising to do this in the urban area by social forestry.
Yes. Thank you.
Sir, I am Somlingappa from Gadag, sir. Gadag district, Karnataka.
Somlingappa, really.
Sir, Gadag district, there is one Kappatgudda Hills. It is known for many medicinal plants, sir. And recently, the Karnataka government declared it as the protected area.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you one question regarding the Kappatgudda Hills, sir. What are the initiatives
to be taken? Area?
What are the initiatives to be taken to conserve?
This Western Ghats?
No, sir, it do not comes under the Western Ghat region.
No, I don't have any idea. You have mentioned some different place. I could not.
Sir, Gadag district. Gadag district, Kappatgudda region is there, sir.
Yeah, I heard that, but I don't have much information about that.
Yes, sir. Due to the long the protection, actually, government of Karnataka declared it as a protected area.
Yeah, protected areas are
means what? No mining is allowed.
Yeah, and, protected area means no. For example, national parks are protected area. Why people? Government is identified these areas as a protected area to conserve the the places. Whether it is for endemism or any importance. Maybe yes, the place where you mentioned, it is having its own ecological importance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why government identified that place as a protected area. And now, actually, as I mentioned, that local participation, people participation, that is a role of citizen, is one of the important criteria here. And that's also one of the things.
Actually, in order to restore the ecosystem, sir, in order to conserve and restore the ecosystem of the Kappatgudda Hill regions, what are the measures to be taken?
No, I don't have much idea about those things. Maybe whatever I explained regarding Western Ghats may be adopted there also. Okay.
No research work has been done as yet now, sir.
I don't have much information about that.
Okay. Sir, I would like to undertake some research work on that. So would you like to guide me in
definitely. Me and Sunil Natyal definitely help you. Yeah, definitely. You can contact me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Definitely. In future days, I will contact you, sir.
My co-worker, Sunil Natyal, is doing out a lot of work regarding this.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, this is Dr. from Pomp University. This is my question is regarding to the climate change. Naturally, in the Western Ghats, the river origin somewhere and meet into the coastal sea.
Yeah.
definitely there will be there is a fawn in that one, the microorganism, microfossils, depending upon
Microfossils.
Microfossils, sir. Microfossils. The sea water content in the depth inside the sea, microfossils will be a different microfossils, and where the fresh water will be a meat. The organism which are present in that definitely will be a varied. So in that scenario, definitely there is a, because of this global warming, the sea level bed increases, and sometime it may have.
See, actually, as I mentioned, the remote sensing is one of the important tools, and recent studies which where they are now studying surface seawater temperature. It's one of the important things. Surface sea water characteristics, study of surface seawater characteristics is one of the things. I don't know how this, you are mentioning about microfossils. Where this
I will give it the organism which are present in the pure seawater, and the organism which are present in the where the freshwater meet with the sea. Definitely it will be
maybe if our work, further work, if we carry out in the area of as I mentioned, that mouth, that deltas, where estuaries, deltas or estuaries, or where the river which reaches the oceans, we call it as mouth. Estuaries. If we carry out a lot of research, biological studies in the area of estuaries, we can get the answer for this, because
definitely the bed, the developed bed or beneath the sea, if you're taking some of the microorganism already which is present in the bed, if you do the carbon dating. So
see, your questions is not relating to one to another. It's a little bit confusing for carbon dating, where we can do.
Sir, actually, I will come to that question, sir. Actually, what will happen if you go back to the earlier? There is a temple in Chidambaram temple beneath the sea, and there is a Mathura. There will be a temple built long back here. If you look at the
actually, I want to tell you, geologically, if you want to talk, many things are there. That's why, in the beginning itself, I mentioned the geological changes. Okay, in the Earth history, this type of disappearing of river or creating of river, there were many. So for this, the geological studies are needed much to study the fossil and structural studies and paleontological studies are needed to give the evidences. I hope you got this.
Yeah, okay, sir. But because of actually, is it any marked regions along the Western Ghats where the river is meeting to the seawater, and there will be certainly the bio.
See, you know that. I hope you heard Ingeldal in Chitradurga.
Yes, sir.
Ingeldal, there are some rocks which looks like.
From Chitradurga, sir.
Yeah, which looks like pillow.
Yes, sir.
Rocks. Okay, pillow. So the petrology means people who petrology means study of rocks. Petrologists who studied that, those pillow type rocks, they called it as pillow lava, and that type of structure occurs only in the ocean.
In the ocean, yes, sir.
Yeah. So based on that study, geologists predict that this Indian subcontinent submerged under ocean 2 times in geological history. So that's why regression and transgressions.
Yeah, that Haimangala, nearby Haimangala, actually it was that region is originated from the sea level.
Yeah, that's why when we talk about climate change, in the geological history, it happened many times. As I mentioned, Ice Age is a good example. Okay, maybe around 1 lakh years back, the whole globe was covered with ice age. So similarly, this climate change is very common in geological history. So that's why whatever we talk about climate change and global warming, the group of scientists which says that it is a myth, but it is not a myth, because human activity is such like that. It is nowhere compared with no other, maybe 10,000 or 15,000 years. If we take data with the scientific evidence, the data, this 100 years, this carbon gases level and other, this one is very high. Okay, so that's why global warming is occurring. Okay, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would like to make a vote of thanks, sir. After every session that we will go through it, sir.
Okay.
Sir, Professor